Hello, Jamie Novak here, your bite-sized living specialist, and today we're going to be talking about how to craft that plan. This is really part one of our overall getting things done. So you're going to want to have a pack of sticky notes. I like the square little post-it notes, and so you want to put those to the side, and then you're going to need something to write on or in. You may have a fancy journal, a spiral notebook, a piece of paper from the printer works, or a legal pad, whatever you've got, and we are going to now just sort of do a download, if you will. We're going to take a moment and write all the stuff that comes to mind, all of the to-dos, if you will, and this is really going to become our master list. So what do you have going on? I know a lot of us are looking to organize or clean something, so maybe we've got cleaning a closet on the list. I know for myself in our home I have to move a fish tank from one side of the room to the other just because I think it'll look better over there. Of course, there's always the chores of vacuuming and grocery shopping. These are the kinds of items on a list that keep you up at night, that kind of roll through your mind. There's a couple of dishes that I wanted to look up recipes for, and so with upcoming summer, I was thinking maybe some spring salads or summer salads would be nice. There's an email that has been delayed in replying to, and then of course there's all the other emails. There's always laundry, so that makes the list. Now, as you're making this list, you're not worrying about spelling or editing, not even penmanship, whether or not you think you can get it done, if it's been on your list for a long time. Just keep writing. It's sort of just stream of consciousness, whatever comes to mind. There's a gift that I need to wrap, and that's going to be for this coming week. There's someone that I need to call, and so we'll put down that we need to give up, and the car needs gas, so we'll put that on the list. And well, of course, there's always those longer term plans where I want to put more money into savings, and I have to check on my American Express bill. There was something funny with that, and I wanted to see what was going on. Oh, there's a pile of papers that I need to shred, so I'm going to shred those papers, and I have a return that needs to go back to the Target store, so that'll get on the list as well. You see how long the list is, right? You might have started with a few things. Maybe your list is a little longer, and that's okay, and probably as we go through the process you're going to be adding more things to the list, and that's quite all right as well. So we're kind of looking at this now, and we're going to go back for just a moment, and we're going to sort of qualify these items. Are they all still current and active? Am I the person that has to do it? Is there someone else that can take it over? Was it just sort of a pipe dream, something that someone said maybe you should do this, or I thought in the moment I would? Oh, there's always exercise more. So we'll add that to the list. So you see what happens as things come to mind, you start writing them in. So we're not worrying about anything. Even if you duplicate items on the list, that's fine, we'll catch them later. Now that we've sort of qualified the list, and we know that yes, you're the person that's responsible and can actually make this task happen, we're not going to be delegating it out. Now we want to look and see here if there's any combinations that we can make, sort of something that would be like exercising while we're cleaning. For example, moving the fish tank, I would say, would qualify as some exercising, as would doing some lunges while you're vacuuming. And I know it sounds a little wacky, but a lot of times when you can combine those tasks, it makes a lot of sense. So this is where you might pull two together and try that out. How about a book that you've been wanting to read? Can you get it on audio tape and then listen to it as you take a walk? If you've got children that need to take a bath at night and read a book, can they read to them while they're in the bathtub? That kind of a thing. So we're looking to combine as many of these tasks on the list as we can. So once we've sort of done that combining, now we're going to go back through the list, and we're going to just make an R next to any of them that are recurring. Things like the vacuuming, the grocery shopping, those are recurring. Moving the fish tank, hopefully once, not as recurring. Checking email, definitely recurring. Laundry, absolutely recurring. Getting gas in the car, even though this time it needs to be done, that is a recurring task. So we want to look at some of these more recurring items and get an R next to those. Then we're going to take another pass through the list and look at any of the items that are 2-minute tasks. And so something like responding to that quick email, making a phone call, even wrapping a gift, assuming I have the gift wrap it near me, that could possibly very well be a 2-minute task. Calling up Amex and asking them about that odd charge, 2-minute task. So a couple of things there that could be 2-minute tasks. And now we want to look at anything that's, just sort of has a deadline. If it's not already recurring or 2-minute, does it have a deadline? Well, cleaning the closet and moving the fish tank, not so much. But wrapping the gifts, we know it's 2 minutes, but anything, I have to bake the cake. So that's not a 2-minute task, but I have to bake the cake, and that does have a deadline. And so we're going to put the deadline next to that, which happens to be Sunday. And so that's sort of what has to happen, or else we're not going to have a cake to eat as we unwrap the gifts that hopefully I will have wrapped before the event so that I'm not wrapping them in the car on the way to the party. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just kind of go through one more time and be sure that the task is actually action-oriented. For example, something like clean closet. Well, yeah, okay, so we kind of know what has to happen there, but what's truly the first step, that first bite-sized step there? And for me, it would be getting a bag ready for charity. So the task is not actually cleaning the closet. The task is actually finding a bag that I can fill to bring the items to charity. So that would be maybe designating the charity, or finding the phone number, or finding a charity would be your first task. So we really want to break it down to the next bite-sized task. Moving the fish tank is not going to happen by myself. So this actually gets a little task next to it of scheduling that with someone who can help me move it. And so that's actually the next task. And that's probably why these haven't happened, because moving the fish tank was not actually the task. So it wasn't that it didn't get done, it was that it wasn't the right task on the list. And that makes all the difference in the world. So now, this is where we're going to use our Post-it notes. On the Post-it note, we're going to choose 3 of these items from our long master list, and these are the 3 items that are going to get done tomorrow. So 3 for tomorrow. And so what will those be for me? Well, the recurring tasks we're actually going to pull off the list, and we're going to work on those in just a minute. But of these other tasks, what's going to happen for me tomorrow? And so I would say that I definitely am willing to commit to wrapping the gifts. So that is one. We're going to gift wrap. I think that another, definitely before it becomes too late and I might not be able to get my money back if it's an incorrect billing, would be to call Amex. And I know that I probably would be, I would be willing to commit to pulling out one summer salad recipe. Now this is where it gets tricky, because a lot of times we'll say, well, you know what, I'm going to be in the recipes anyway. Instead of just one, why don't I, get a handful or get a whole bunch? And all of a sudden, before we've even started, we've overwhelmed ourselves. So we really want to scale it back, and instead of saying, oh, I'll get 3 recipes, I'll just pick one summer salad recipe, and let's move on. So these are my 3 for tomorrow, and the reason that I love it on this little sticky note is now I can pop this note on the front of my agenda, on my cell phone, on my computer screen. I can put it on the dashboard of the car, the mirror in the bathroom, anywhere where I am, to remind myself this is what's going on for the day. And what's fantastic is at the end of the day I can recycle this, because if I've done it right, these will be done. Now you may be wondering, well, Jamie, what happens if I end up with more time in my day than I'm expecting and I actually can get more done? Fantastic. Go back. Once these 3 are done, recycle this paper and make yourself a whole nother list. But what often happens is we overschedule ourselves. We don't leave enough time for emergencies, unexpected situations, things that we forgot about. Something as simple as construction, rain, traffic, a sick pet, a friend in need, a flat tire, forgetting to get gas when we needed it. All these things can set us back, and then all of a sudden our list becomes way too long. So that's what we're doing with our little sticky note, and I just love this concept. I think you will too. We're going to keep our master list in one place, and we're always going to come back to it. We're not going to be rewriting it and grouping it together and all of that. That is time that we could be spent doing things on the task. Okay, so now, remember when we went through and wrote the R's next to some of these items because they're recurring? Well, now's the time to pull out your calendar or a new sheet of paper. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy, but what we want are the 7 days on a piece of paper. And now what we're going to do here, we have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So we've got 7 days on the paper. So now what we're going to decide is, well, of these days, which is going to be our day to clean which rooms? And this may be a little bit different than something you're used to, but we're actually going to schedule a lot of our routine tasks, and the reason for that is we absolutely need to know what's happening. We can change it up, we can add things in, but we're going to try a schedule and we can always tweak it later. So maybe you're going to decide that laundry happens on Tuesday and Thursday nights because you tend to be around to make the switch, and that's what's going to work for you. But you know that generally Wednesdays you're in town for a meeting in the evening with maybe an organization, and so that would be a perfect errand night where maybe, remember we had that return to Target on our master list? Well, that wouldn't even have to be on this list anymore because now we know it automatically gets done on a Wednesday when all the errands get done. So that would go right into the car, and that would just start to happen more automated than it is right now. So we're going to get things like cleaning specific rooms, doing laundry. Of course, you know, things like dishes and things are probably always happening. But all of those routine tasks, even some organizing tasks or shredding paper, maybe it's every Friday night as you sit down to, you know, watch a particular show, that's when some shredding of the paper is happening. So we're not scheduling everything down to the minute, but we're looking at more or less a lot of these routine tasks like vacuuming and grocery shopping and deciding that, you know, I'm going to grocery shop every Saturday morning, and let's try that instead of grocery shopping on your way home from work every day and ending up wasting a lot of time and spending probably extra money. So this is our routine task, and you can pull that into your main calendar, but for now, you know, we just want to look at the week and see what's going to be most realistic, what's going to work with our schedule. So now we have our routine tasks, we have our little mini to-do list for the day, which is our 3 on a post-it note, we have our master list, and the only other thing we're missing, possibly, is a checklist. These will be multiple small checklists that we'll probably have throughout your home, where it might be something like every time I'm heading out to the grocery store, I want to check this to be sure I have these few things. And it might be something like your grocery checklist, and you want to be sure that you have the cooler, because that makes sense if you're able to put stuff into the cooler so you don't have to rush home if you've got, you know, ice cream and butter and things. And then also you want to remember your canvas bags. And so we'll be sure we have those with us. If the grocery store also happens to have a collection of recycled extra plastic bags, we'll make a list for those, and those are your recycling ones. You want to remember your key tag to get your, you know, your little bonus discount, so that would be something that might go on the list. And maybe every time now that you're near the grocery store, you're actually going to go ahead and make a drop off to one of the local charities. So anything that you have to go into the charity basket could also go on this checklist. Now this checklist could hang, you know, nearest the door you're walking out most often, or in the pantry where you would be to make your grocery shopping list, and that's something that should also go. We need to actually know what we're buying, so the grocery list itself. And how about coupons? We want to be sure we have those as well. Now maybe you're going to double up on a task, and a lot of times when you're grocery shopping, you're going to grocery shop with a friend so you can get some friend chit-chat time in while you're actually getting a task accomplished. And the bonus to that is you can buy some larger products, like maybe 24 rolls of paper towels, and split it, because neither of you wants 24, but you can each use 12. So you have these little checklists, and I tell you what happens with these, it lets you take it out of your mind. You don't have to remember that every time you go grocery shopping you have to remember these 6 other things to walk out of the house with. So these little checklists, whatever you're going to write them on, I mean, don't get fancy, don't get up to be a perfectionist about it. I don't want you typing them in fun fonts and laminating them. We might get to that point, but right now we're just doing it well enough. Even if it was on a post-it note that then you tacked up maybe with a little extra tape so it didn't fall, but so that you always had it handy. And these checklists are great for the one that you need before you run out to the park, or the one that you need, you know, before you head out the door to work. All those different lists, so the stuff is just out of your mind, and you can just look at the list, be sure you did everything, and then get on with your day. So we now have our master list, which we're putting in a single place, so we're giving it a home so we know where it is all the time. That way we don't lose confidence. If you write it and lose it, you're going to be disappointed. We've got our little 3 for the day, and that's on a sticky note, which I love. You've got your schedule that's happening for the week, and that's going to blend in with your calendar, and we're going to adjust that as needed. And then, of course, you have your checklists. And basically now we've covered a lot of the to-do list that was ending up on a daily list that at the end of the day you felt unsuccessful. So for your homework, I'd like you to try these few new routines, and as you're doing tasks, remember to ask yourself, is this the best way? Even if you don't know whether or not it's the best way or how you would fix it if you know it's not the best way, just recognizing it and keeping a list of the time sucks. So that would be a great list to start on another piece of paper that you're going to hang again on the back of the pantry door. That's my go-to place, but front of the refrigerator works. A single location where every time you think of something that's just sucking your time, for example, a vacuum cleaner that has one wheel that's kind of falling off, it's going to take you double the time to vacuum. May or may not be in your budget to fix right now, or maybe there's a way around it, or maybe there's an alternative, but we just want to note them now. So we can definitely start making a note of our time sucks, and that's something that we're going to be covering in the next upcoming session. So it's been a pleasure being with you here today as we walk through these different lists that we're creating, and I can't wait to hear what's working for you. And best of all, the best thing that you can do is to start to recognize what you are doing right. You're getting a lot accomplished already, and sometimes it just takes a moment to stop and recognize it, to give ourselves credit for what we're getting done. Most of all, you sat through this video, which is fantastic. So it's been a pleasure. Wishing you a bite-sized week. Until next time, this has been Jamie Novak.